make a reservation?
Uh-huh. By telegraph.
That's him. Sure, it's Bill Barker.
Look at the son of a gun come.
Keep a tight hold of this bag, boy. It's got $50,000 worth of gold nuggets in it.
We're from the newspapers, Mr. Barker.
You can talk freely to us.
How many notches you got in your gun?
No real genuine gunman ever carves notches in his gun, Sonny.
Tell us about your mine. Where'd you strike it, Bill?
That's a subject I'm saving for Mr. Samuel Kent.
Are you taking Samuel Kent into partnership with you? Why, Sam Kent's the biggest thing in Wall Street.
It takes a letter from President Garfield to get in Kent's office.
I ain't got no time to fool with President Garfield. I'm a man of split-second action. Say, maybe this Mr. Kent has got some special weakness.
He sure has. Horses.
And women.
I must see what I can do about a horse for him. Being as I've already contributed to that other weakness.
Yep. That's Sam Kent's rose garden, all right. But you know, you don't...
Is it a fact that Clara hails from El Paso instead of the glittering capitals of Europe?
Now, if you boys have got to print something, you can say that Bill Barker knew this Texas rose, this Barcelona rose, way back when.
Lies, lies, lies. Sam Kent, if you are the big man you think you are, you will have this desecrator horsewhipped from town.
Calm yourself, Clara.
You wish to believe what these papers are hinting. That I am known to this buffalo in a border canteen at a time when I was the toast of Paris. Never, never have I suffered so much indignation.
I'm merely curious.
Curious nothing. Oh, Papa is jealous, huh? All men are jealous of Martinez.
Pardon, Mr. Kent, but Mr. Bill Barker's here to see you.
I must go now to the theater. This thing have make me sick. Come, Bobo, we go home. You make him stop his lies, Sam. You send him back to his Wild West, quick, pronto.
Mr. Barker wants to see you about financing his mine, not about Miss Martinez.
I have no intentions of seeing him.
Yes, sir.
But you might telegraph Denver and see what they know about him.
Yes, sir. Mr. Kent is out indefinitely.
That's what I figured. That's a horse on me. Yes, sir.
What a stud. I've been looking for a piece of stock like this for the last 5 years. I thank you for this unexpected gift, Mr. Barker.
Mr. Kent, you haven't seen anything yet.
You know a thoroughbred mine as well as you know a horse?
I got a sack of yellow rocks over in the hotel vault that says I do.
Well, we'll have a look at them.
Gold mine, horses, and women. I wish I could hang on to them. There's more of all three of them out west.
Yeah. I see by the newspapers you're an old rival of mine. But I'm broad-minded, Barker. I'll tell you what. How'd you like to join Clara and me at Delmonico's tonight for a bit of wine supper after the theater?
Could I?
Be there at 11. Just a small affair in your honor.
I want to start tripping right away. Get out the way, Clark. Get out of here.
Mr. Kent! Mr. Kent! Hey, when I was... Oh, excuse me. I forgot. Here's a telegram for you. That doesn't matter. Look. A while ago, when I was passing the Malson place, I heard an awful commotion.
It seemed that someone has stolen that champion stallion. I'd hate to be the one that stole him, sir. Everybody around here knows him. He's great wide, about 15'2", and he's got big dark brown. He's got a diamond...
Don't you think I know that stud? I've been trying to buy him for 6 months. Get out of here. And when you pass Bill Barker, kiss him with a horseshoe, where it's bad luck.
And there I was a-hiding behind a big old rock. One puny white man again 100 bloodthirsty redskins. Say, they were throwing lead like hail. And I was doing a little plain and fancy shooting myself. Well, sir, after the smoke cleared away and the carnage was over, I confirmed the theory, Sam, that I'd always had about that old rock.
I have a theory about it, too.
Well, there she was. Pretty as an Arizona sunset. Pure yellow gold, laid bare by the bullets of them pesky redskins.
Very, very interesting. I'm very sorry, Clara. I forgot to tell you that Mr. Barker was going to be here.
So, I'm glad to settle this once and for all. Never before have I seen this man.
I pass.
I apologize for a mistake, Clara. Gentlemen, put on your bibs. We're all just folks. There's Pete, my head groom, Schultz, my tailor, Calkins, my betting commissioner.
Bookmaker, you mean? Have you gone mad?
My coachman must be getting uppity, or perhaps he didn't receive my invitation. You'll all excuse me, and I'll bring him in.
All right. Go ahead, Sam.
Thanks, Bill.
Oh, shucks. That's all right, Clary. You know, a lot of bubbles has flowed under the bridge since that Marion blacksmith welded us.
How's Nita?
Would you really like to know?
Naturally, I've often thought I should do something for her.
Do you reckon would do any good for her to know that her mama was a play actress?
I suppose she's proud of you, the sheriff on your tails everywhere you light.
Say, I guess you ain't heard about me being killed, carrying the stars and stripes to eternal glory at Gettysburg. It's things like that, Clary, that make kids proud of their old men.
Always belittling yourself, aren't you, Bill?
Say, I'll just bet you a stack of blues there ain't a female orphan in this whole USA as disappointed in her ma and as proud of her deep-hearted paw as that little one. Sammy, old partner, I'm sure beholden to you. I certainly am. Say, you know, I ain't had so much fun since me and Jesse James held up. I mean, since me and General Grant upheld the glory of the old Stars and Stripes at Pittsburgh.
Mr. Barker, you haven't seen anything yet.
Sammy, show you my heart's in the right place. I reckon I'm going to make you my putt. Say, you know, I'd hate to see the bill for all this with 2 eyes.
The check, sir. We're closing up.
Oh, yes, Mr. Kent.
Mr. Kent said it was your party, sir.
All right. There's a bag of yellow rocks over in my hotel and take care of this.
Oh, we've already contacted your hotel, Mr. Barker. They report that your samples wouldn't make a decent upper plate. Call the police.
Go ahead. Call the police. There was a fly in my soup.
William Barker, this court sentences you to 140 days in the workhouse.
Well, hold on there, Judge.
But in consideration of the fact that Samuel Kent has reimbursed the plaintiff in this action, the sentence is suspended. And the defendant is discharged on the condition he make immediate use of this railroad ticket provided by Miss Martinez and covering transportation to all points west.
Well, I'll be right glad to get out of this gazelle, Walla. I thought I was a big duck, but I guess I'll have to hunt me a smaller puddle.
Oh, just a moment.
Miss Martinez wanted you to have this, too.
Just to remind you what you made of yourself during your visit to New York.
As a matter for the court records, you will tell us your destination.
Back to that rip-roaring old town of El Paso, Texas, where I'm too big a man to be hauled into a court of law.
Known Bill Barker, which has been my misfortune over a term of years, I hereby award the disputed horse to the plaintiff, Bud McQuinn. Not that I consider you McQuinns any credit to this community. You'd all been hanging before this if it hadn't have been that your brother Bud does some pretty slippery thinking for you. You weren't burning any mental breeze, Bud, when you let your brother Charlie pull a gun on Bill Barker.
I'd have given him a straighter haircut, Judge, if he hadn't moved his head.
You're going to discover that was pretty expensive barbering. Bill Barker found guilty of coveting his neighbor's horse. Fine of $500 or sentenced to 1 year in jail. And as for you, you high-grady McQuinns, it's my unofficial suggestion that you find yourselves new territory to stench up.
We've picked ourselves a little territory over Arizona way, where they never heard of courthouses.
Look us up when you get out, Bill.
You bet I will, you slit-brained squaw masher.
I've got some personal remarks to address to the prisoner. Bailiff, you wait outside.
Even El Paso's become too big a puddle for me. Ain't you being kind of hard on me, Cousin Tom? Being as it's me and your court are sharing the bonds of fatherhood?
That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about, Bill. You haven't contributed a plug nickel to needed support in over a year.
Ain't I been to New York trying to raise a fortune for that little chick?
Chick? You think she's still hatching size, like the last you saw her. She's back from boarding school, all through with it. She's going to be married next week.
Married? And why wasn't I consulted about this?
'Cause you're dead. Now, don't worry about Nita, Bill. She's doing all right. Young fella, nice ranch, right out where the railroad's going.
Well, I guess I'll be moseying out that way to look him over.
You got that $500?
No. I ain't had $500 since a Tonto kid took it away from me. Way back there and... I wonder what the Tonto kid's doing these days.
He's doing awful well since the railroad line's gone through.
I'm glad to hear it. I always figured the kid was made for better things than holding up buckboards.
So are you, Bill. With your sharpshooting, you'd make the best peace officer in the West.
You ain't figuring on me catching the Tonto kid for you, are you?
Got any idea where to find him?
Mm-hmm.
Deliver the Tonto kid within the jurisdiction of this court, and your slate's white clean.
All right. Give me a saddle horse and an outfit.
Bill, I'll get you 2 horses.
The law, the power, and the glory. That's what I'm going to be. Right out where the railroad's going. Tut-tut-tut-tut-tut.
I'm passing the hat for contributions, gents, to help stake Mrs. Mustache and her dancers to the flossiest waltz emporium west of Tombstone.
Thank you, Hank. Knighthood is still in flower.
Drop it. That's all mine, Shorty. There'll be an accountant on any valuables held back.
It's the Tonto Kid.
Oh, is it? No, it ain't. I know the Tonto Kid when I see him.
Nita. Dump it all right in there.
Get your carcass off here, you amateur, or I'll blast it off. Howdy, kid.
I gotta get out of here. Meet you in town.
What's the matter? Buck fever?
Maybe.
Get out. You're no good to me. You're the collector. You too, sister. Stick out your hands. Come over.
Give me that ring. Give me that ring. Give me back my engagement ring.
I thought you dance hall girls had 3 or 4 of them.
I ought to scratch your eyes out for even thinking I was with Mustache's dance girls.
You're sure not with them now. Well, I can't leave you out here. Come on.
Let me go. What are you going to do with me?
I guess a fellow with my reputation ought to be able to think of something. Excuse my boldness, but I ain't seen an ankle since the baptizing at Rim Creek.
Please.
Oh, I know ankles is disrespectable. My ma told me so.
Judging from how you grew up, there must have been a lot of things she didn't tell you.
Oh, she told me a lot of things. Except when she kind of forgot to tell me what my name was.
Oh, that's too bad. You see, I know what it is to have a real good family. One to be proud of.
You're so darn chill with respectability, I got a flag of train and put you on it before I catch a case of icicles.
If you don't, you'll catch a load of lead for breakfast.
And who's gonna feed it to me?
Danny!
No Danny ever shot like that. Where are you, Bill?
All right over here.
I can't see you.
I ain't aiming for you to see me.
Hey, Bill, how about some bacon?
They're hoping I'll bring yours back to El Paso.
Oh, it's the sheriff.
No, it's Bill Barker.
Never heard of him.
That's because you're so dag-blamed respectable. Here, load this.
I'm over here now. Who's the little sorrel filly?
Darned if I know.
Who's she pointing that thing at, you or me?
Him. I'd enjoy letting some fresh air through him for bringing me out here tonight.
All right, honey. He bats as much as an eyelash. You just pull that little trigger thing.
Do I have to wait till he bats?
Oh, yes, missy. It wouldn't be legal to execute him, and the findings of the court decrees such. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The court is now in session.
What are you up to now, you old jackass?
Now?
Pretty soon, honey. Pretty soon, maybe. Me, Bill Barker, who has taken over certain territory west of Texas and east of California, my first official ruling to be finding the kid guilty of outlawing, for which I fine him the sum of $1,000. More or less, according to the financial condition of the prisoner.
That's robbery.
Honey, I'm not going to deprive you much longer of your fun. No longer than it takes you to count 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
My. That kid always was a destructive little scamp.
There's my engagement ring.
You heading west to get married?
Sure am.
I'd be glad to tote you. I got a pack horse and I'm heading your way.
Oh, thank you.
I should think your pa'd be awful ashamed of himself. Not to be out there to give you away.
Couldn't very well. He died, carrying the Stars and Stripes.
At Gettysburg?
How did you know?
Just guessing. Doggone. Tired, honey?
No, it was just like a rocking chair all the way.
Your old man would sure be proud of your spunk. Well, anyhow, we're almost there. There she is, honey. That's going to be my puddle.
Mine, too.
You're looking at a wedding right now. Bigger than Napoleon and Josephine. The railroad from California joining up with a line from El Paso. And look, they're unveiling the new depot.
And now, as your station agent, it's fit and proper that I take it on myself to dedicate this here glorious depot.
Don't look so glorious to me. Why, it's the worst speeching I ever heard.
When two ends of a railroad meet together, the company, a glorious company, builds a station, free of charge to the people.
Bill!
An edifice...
Hello, cheery old sage rat. How are you? Meet Nita Mosby. It's Judge Mosby's ward.
We just arrived too, senorita.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the only spike beater in the whole world ever to have a depot named after him. Mulligan P. Martinez.
I got a big muscle, huh? You see him? I got such big muscles, I'm champion with this fella here. This honor you give me, senors, touched my little heart here. Faith, it's glory to the name of Mulligan and glory to the name of Martinez. I'm filled to overflowing with pride.
If that's pride, I never smelled whiskey.
Boys, stop it!
Three cheers for Martinez!
I know this ringtail scoundrel. He ain't the kind of a man I want mixed up in the dedicating of my depot.
Bill Barker's all right. Go back to your ticket shed, you tin-belly swivel setter.
We ought to hamstring this Dixon pussin' for whittling down this occasion to the dedication of Adobe Shed. Is this all you got to offer these citizens?
I got the railroad, ain't I?
Not that anybody knows you haven't. My friend Samuel Kent, one of the richest men in the world, is the biggest stockholder in this here railroad, and I ain't never heard him mention you. Folks, old Bill Barker, the people's friend, didn't stumble out here by accident. He come all the way out here from New York at the special urging of two of his best pals, Samuel Kent and Clary Martinez. In hobnobbing with Clara Martinez, I learned that the civic corral without ladies is like a posy without the dew. So I'm inviting Mrs. Mustache to take over the dance concession in the Desert Delmonico's that I will be establishing.
Invite accepted.
Now there'll be free beer for everyone every Saturday night on old Bill Barker Bar, Jasper. Freedom for them that wants it, protection for them that needs it. Schools for the little shavers' enlightenment.
Bill Barker.
All to be self-sustaining from a source of revenue that even now I see oozing into our little community.
You're crazy listening to this windbag. He's the biggest liar in 38 states.
Now, folks, the figurehead in every community is usually some squeak-brained little monkey known as the mayor. Being as our town is in need of a mayor, I'm now nominating two candidates. One our friend Mort Dixon here, and the other a more advanced specimen of his breed.
We want Bill Barker for mayor.
The old army game. Sorry, folks, but I ain't no politician.
Get a whirl, Bill. We'll vote right now by public acclaim.
Everybody for Bill Barker say yay!
Ray! Ray!
Boys and girls, I'm afraid you got me licked. Free beer will be flowing momentarily. First, I want to tell you how unexpected, how unpremeditated this is.
Denny!
Me, a stranger within your midst, to be elected mayor, unanimous. My rise and vote will carve its memory into my heart indelible.
Make it 2.
Right.
Did you get over your buck fever?
Yeah. My girl was on that train, kid. I thought it'd be kind of nice to have her out here, but I didn't expect her quite so soon.
She's not acquainted with your line of business?
No, she thinks I've got a ranch out here. I better get me one pretty quick with my share of that train haul.
You've got no share.
You're dealing me out?
No. I lost it. It's a lie.
You killed him.
Yeah.
Then you better shoot me too, because I'll kill you if you don't.
Go ahead if you think it's worth it.
He's a murderer.
Sure, he's the Tonto Kid.
They're paying fancy prices for him in El Paso.
Don't you worry, miss. The El Paso courts will take care of him as soon as we deliver him there.
Turn around.
Paso. Or so they tell me.
Traveling kind of bad company, ain't you?
He killed Danny.
You ought to potted him that night in his camp. Anything to say for yourself?
She doesn't know it, but it was good riddance. Danny was that yellow road agent that was working with me.
Kid.
Pobrecito.
Thanks for saving me the trouble.
Get away from there, Barker, or I'll let you have it.
Sorry to cheat you boys out of that reward money. But El Paso ain't sitting on judgment on any of our hometown scallywags.
That's right, Bill. Stretch 'em up right here. El Paso can't have all the hangings.
This ain't ladies' night, honey. Chewy and Mrs. Chewy will take you out their camp.
Muy bien, senor.
Now, this trial's gonna be with Trimmins. And the Trimmins will be bear. Again, that trusty rifle cracked and another redskin bit the dust. But still those red varmints kept encircling that poor, hopeless wagon train. Again and again, that young man with the long rifle poured his leaden missiles of death into the ranks of those redskins. And the dying screams of them Comanches curdled the air. The lives of 100 women and children depended upon him. Renegade that he was, child of nature, foreign to the laws of man, he had but one thing on his mind. His own mother was a woman.
My mother was a woman, too.
Raising his eyes heavenward, he prayed silent, that his aim would hold true, and that Bill Barker, leading the United States Cavalry, would reach there in time.
And did you get there in time, Bill?
Ask the Tonto Kid. It was him that held them red varmints at bay.
Oh, shucks, Bill. It was nothing. I just seen my duty and I done it.
Kid, I guess you sort of been misunderstood. Are you going to let yourself be taken in by Barker's blathering lies? That's something he read in a book someplace.
Uh-huh. Well, the only thing I read is the penal code and the statutes. And according to them, you McQuins are guilty of contempt of court.
You haven't been given any justice authority.
Your mayor appoints himself temporary justice of the peace pro tem. On account of his wide experience in the courts of law in New York, El Paso, and all points west. And I don't mind telling you, gentlemen, that your mayor is very touchy of having his appointments criticized. Our court is now in session. Take off your hat. Exactly what is your slant on this alleged murder, Professor?
Well, my slant was strictly from behind the piano. Sanders tried to shoot the kid foul-like, you know, in the back.
Well, it looks like this wicked back shooter is the one to be punished. But that's been took care of. Order. There'll be no coddling of the prisoner. Tonto Kid, I find you guilty of being a trifle on the hair-trigger side. So I'm paroling you in the permanent custody of this court.
Are you going to let this bunco shooter saddle a criminal on this town?
Now, you McQuins are criminals beyond regeneration. But I had an idea that I might salvage something from this bit of human wreckage, provided I got him some character-building employment. Tonto Kid, I'm hereby appointing you collector of public revenues, a job for which I consider you peculiarly equipped. Your first official act will be to collect a small fine from Bud McQuinn for impersonating an officer and making a false arrest.
Where is it?
Well, boys, there's a train going through here every day. In case you're not satisfied with this self-sustaining administration.
Maybe some of your Indian friends will let you settle on their reservation.
Maybe you've given us a right smart idea there, Mrs. Mustache.
Everything's free, boys. Old Bill Barker's still in charge.
Bill, you're the eighth wonder. That was a good joke, ruling me to you.
That wasn't any joke, kid. From now on, you're going to walk a chalk line.
Oh, you're crazy.
Crazy enough to finish what I started in this town, I need your help.
I'm not going to settle in any jerk town. Well, there's country to ramble.
I suppose I was foolish. Figure on you helping me.
Yeah. Well, thanks anyhow, Bill. Adios.
Adios.
I think I'll stay a while, Bill.
Suit yourself, kid.
You got to tell that girl the truth about Sanders.
Thinking Sanders was a regular hombre will let her down easier. If you tell her any different, I'll put a draft through you.
Well, I guess that makes her the owner of the ranch he never had.
You just take this little bucket over to Tombstone. See how much you can get for its insides.
How do you know I'll come back?
Well, you better not come back unless you bring enough to put that gal's brand on 100 head of steers.
The little calves, they come quick. By next year, you will have a big herd.
Maybe.
I know.
The river is so close. Yet we must drive the cattle a long way to water.
That's a lot of work for one man, Joy. I hope we can afford some hands soon.
We'll get along. El chamaco, he helps me.
They're starting a school in town. That's where your son ought to be.
No, that tonto kid, he never went to school much.
You don't want to grow up to be like him, do you?
Yes, ma'am.
The tonto kid, he's one pretty good fella. Every day he has helped us drive your stock to water.
I don't want his help. Keep him away from here.
He won't bother you, Miss Nita. He's too famous to bother with girls.
Jose, you will ride to town and tell Senor Barker that McQueen's Indians have built more fence.
I'm not so sure Mr. Barker will help us. Well, he's harboring that Tonto outlaw.
Now hurry, Jose.
Well, sir, we was hooping it up in New York one night on the red plush. All 400 of us. And old Sam Kent was putting a bug in me about a good stock to buy into. Well, all of a sudden, I feels a nudge in my ribs. And there stands Clary Martinez. With her was a sort of a stately gent whose brambles look sort of familiar. Bill, I want you should meet President Garfield, says Clary.
President Garfield?
Sure. Jenks, that's how you got your appointment as postmaster. Through me, through Clary Martinez, through President Garfield.
I don't recollect you mentioning the president in any of your letters to Miss Martinez.
He don't write letters to Miss Martinez.
He sure does. Beautiful letters.
Jenks ought to know. He steams open all the mail.
I don't recall her answering him back, though. Not even when he rid her of falsehood that he named this here town after her.
Well, you gotta flatter 'em, boys. You gotta flatter 'em.
Yeah, you're pretty slick, Barker, but you ain't slick enough to keep the McQuins from grabbing our riverlands.
Bud had a pretty smart idea when he brought them government Indians in to take up reservation there. That's federal business even I can't fix up in a minute.
There's not much fight in that mangy tribe. Say the word, Bill, and we'll run them clean to the Pecos Valley.
Nope. Washington has big ears. And if we strong-arm as much as one Indian off that reservation, we'll have the U.S. cavalry down on it.
Why don't you get your friend Clara Martinez to tell your friend Sam Kent to tell your friend Jimmy Garfield that those Indians are blocking our water supply?
I'll bet my bottom dollar Barker don't know any of them people.
Now, you see? They're even doubting my honesty.
Yes. And I'm setting up my newspaper to kill your one-man control. It's time this town had some competent men running things.
Competent men? That's what I'm interested in, you yapping puppies. That's why I appointed Doc Howard coroner.
Judge Barker, you got time for a little official business?
Doc Howard? Bring him right in.
We know why you imported him, because he's the fastest gunslinger in Dodge City.
I'm just doing what I think best for the town. I built your schoolhouse, didn't I? And brought you into school, Mom.
You had him join up with you because he used to be a prize fighter.
But he's got education, ain't he? He got that 10 here teaching John L. Sullivan how to spell.
Your Honor, we caught these parties down at the corner making goo-goo eyes at innocent ladies.
No.
Yeah.
Court's in session.
You're riding high now, Barker. But soon we'll have a city charter, and that means a regular election by ballot.
Sorry you won't stay for the festivities, Mort. Stand aside and give the prisoners room. The court is now in order.
I'll have you know,
Take
Barker.
off your hat. You too.
Who do you think you're talking to?
I'll have you know, sir, that I'm a government Indian agent from Fort San Carlos.
Indian agent, huh? Well, now, this trial's going to be a genuine pleasure.
You can't produce a single solitary witness to these ridiculous charges.
Oh, I can't, huh?
These are the galoots that scared me, with their spoony eyes.
Why, I never saw her before.
I'd as leave flirt with a mountain lion.
Defendants found guilty as charged and fined $100 each. Collect the fines.
I know they wouldn't have any trouble with this fellow.
Wouldn't have thrashed around like that, son.
I sure am glad to see new blood coming into this town.
Mr. Barker! Mr. Barker!
Just a minute, son. Now, what is it, Joey?
They strung some more fence up out there, way past the river bend.
Indian agent, huh? Well, I'm just raising them fines $200 apiece. And I'm inviting you, sir, to accept the facilities of our local court, sir. Every day, as long as you are here, sir.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, sir, but I'm leaving immediate. And I won't be back unless the Mescalero Indians are forced off the land they settled.
But I don't reckon you'd mind, sir. If them Indians left, free and peaceful and of their own accord.
Me and Uncle Sam don't begrudge them their pick of free land, so long as they make up their own minds to move. But no coercion, sir. That's our policy.
No coercion. No.
They're not going to want to move, Barker. They're going to be holding that river till the hot place freezes.
The $200. Get up, Joey.
I'll write to Washington about this.
There's no further business before the House. Court's adjourned. Throw him out. Joey, you take this here money to Miss Nita. And you tell her she's got to hire some cow-waddies to keep that stock of hers out of the drylands.
Yes, sir. That's what the Tonto kid was telling me.
Don't you like the shape of that brand?
Sure. But after you've been here a while, you'll find out you can't change brands with hot water and turpentine. That's for sick calves only. Come on, little fella. Get up. Ha. Ha. You'll be all right now. So you thought I was changing brands, huh?
I'm sorry.
Well, you ought to be. Your two-bit herd's pretty small change, you know.
Then why do you bother with them?
Because being respectable is so dull, I've got nothing else to do but be kind to your cows.
Maybe your conscience hurts you.
What's that?
Oh, just a word you wouldn't understand.
Well, there's plenty you wouldn't understand, you little bonnet brain, if you keep going around with your blinders on.
You clear out of here.
I'm on my way, and thanks for your highly respectable advice.
And don't come back.
I guess a fellow with my reputation ought to be able to take a hint.
I got the idea of these free soirees in New York. The mayor give one in Warner to show me how politics is run.
Throw them tips at folks that don't know you, Bill.
Well, the name's Royal Solitary Highness himself. I know why you ain't been around to see me. You've been hanging around Nita's place, trying to caterwaul your ornery self into her good graces.
That little squirt. I wouldn't even give her a second look.
Oh, you wouldn't, eh? Well, let me tell you something, you knob-headed Jasper. She's the prettiest thing that ever come down this pike.
Is she?
Yes, she is. If I thought she was ever going to be a man, I'd apologize to myself.
The only thing that's manly about you are your pants. You can't get away with that bluff forever.
Bluff, huh?
Yeah? That's your play, all right. Or else you'd let me run those McQuins off the river like I wanted to.
I'll take care of those McQuins. I see what I've got to show you, that my play ain't all bluff.
Well, you better show me pretty quick, because I'm romping out of your little sewing circle. Your four-flushing courthouse here has made it so peaceful, a man can wear hairy pants and not even get in a fight.
Oh, it ain't so hard to get a fight in here.
Still four-flushing?
If you think so, start something.
Yeah?
Kid, we're going to put this little affair on strictly a non-bluff basis. Now, there's one cartridge in this six-shooter, somewhere. I'm giving you the first shot.
Don't be a jackass, Bill.
Don't worry. He knows I wouldn't shoot him.
My turn.
That's Bill always cutting up.
He wouldn't shoot an old pard.
He knows I didn't take him serious. Why, you dirty, double-dealing old sidewinder.
At least I'll make a good road agent out of you. Only two left, kid. It looks like Mort Dixon might get that job of mayor he's been hankering for. After all, I appreciate the way you folks have all stuck by me.
We'll always stick by you, Bill. We need you.
Call it off, kid.
Yeah.
Honest, I can't understand how a blundering, unconverting old ski-wad like me has so many friends. And you all know I ain't no politician. Go ahead, kid.
nothing doing, Bill.
Why, you yellow-livered civet cat, you're afraid of the next shot.
You crocodile crying gobber crowbait.
I'll show you who's crowbait. You wanted to travel, didn't you? Well, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to decide whether you want to be a decent citizen or the ghost of a wandering highwayman.
I kind of lost my hankering to travel, Bill. I take back what I said about that bluff.
Why ain't Joel dancing? Keeping this to remind me you're still owing me a shot.
Why, you're too brave for your own good, Bill. Why, my heart's still going pit-pat to think that bullet might be in you instead of in that gun.
Fiddlesticks. I wouldn't have been able to hire cowhands if it hadn't been for Mr. Barker. Next, they'll be blaming the drought on him.
Oh! I tell you, man. Your cowhands wouldn't do you any good if it wasn't for the kid.
Kid? What's he got to do with it?
He found a shortcut to water for your cattle, right through a hole in the engine's fence.
Right through a hole in the Indian's fence. I'm going to tell him once and for all just what I think of him.
You'll get your feelings hurt, 'cause he's too big a man to bother with girls. Miss Nita wants to see you, kid.
I suppose she's mad as usual.
She's not so mad. I can tell, the way she keeps asking things about you.
What does she ask?
Oh, mostly about why you shot Danny Sanders.
Yeah? What did you tell her?
I told her you did it just to keep up your reputation.
Well, you're sure a big help to me.
Sure. I knew you didn't want her bothering you.
Well?
Well?
Well, begin.
What is this, another fight?
You want it, isn't it?
Never.
Ah, your laddie goes loose.
You know, it's hard sometimes to believe you're as terrible as you're supposed to be. Even when I saw it once with my own eyes.
Seeing's believing, I guess.
I've even tried to believe I didn't see it. I found myself wanting to think about you the way Joey does. A storybook hero with killing being a part of the story.
Shucks. I'm no hero. But well, can't you kind of figure it out so I wouldn't be such a ring-tailed villain?
I'd like to. But what about Danny Sanders?
Ask Bill Barker.
If the cat's got your tongue, I will.
I tell you what. You put it straight up to Bill, and I promise you I'll keep these poppers quiet until the 4th of July.
I'll put it straight. And hearing's believing.
Not from Bill Barker.
As I was saying, Chief Little Dog, this is a heap bad place. Hot, dusty when the wind blows, a sad, desolate, thirsty place.
Chief Little Dog got river.
Oh, you like water, huh? You ought to live by the seashore. You savvy California?
Salt water no good.
Oh, you smart fella, Jimmy Blacklegs. You traveled some, huh?
Me ride horse to California.
You like 'em?
Me like.
Tell the chief. He ought to take his tribe to California.
Little Dog no like ride horse. Him like sit right here. Maybe.
Now listen, doggy. You'd go daffy over California. Big sun, big flowers, heap big mountain, big ocean.
Little Dog no talk. Him only think.
How do you know he thinks?
'Cause him never talk. Shh. Him think hard now.
I know why you tied up this land to sweat an offer out of me, but...
But what?
Well, my treasure's running kind of low. Persuading these Indians to leave won't do me no good, unless it's done before tomorrow's election.
I'm sorry, Bill, but I ain't running no charge account.
Clayt, there's going to be a big minus sign in your accounts one of these days. And it's going to be right in front of your name.
We found out who cut the fence. The Tonto Kid.
That ought to be took care of right away.
It will be. And I'm going to do it.
You saw what happened, didn't you? Well, why don't you say something?
What's there to say?
Plenty. I can look right smack into that silly little head of yours and tell you just what you're thinking. I gunned this hombre for excitement, I suppose. Oh, I've had about all of this I can stand.
What's the matter with the kid? Ashamed of his marksmanship?
I've gunned him myself if I could.
Seems you inherited something from your old man besides those Gettysburg stories. Come on. I better take you down to the house.
Wait. First, you're going to tell me something. Why did you save the kid's neck the night we got here?
What's he been telling you about that?
Oh, nothing. But I just wondered why you took the trouble to save such a cowardly, yellow, bushwhacking pup.
Why, you spoiled little ninny. I don't believe your old man ever saw Gettysburg. You wouldn't have a ranch if it wasn't for the kid. Sanders didn't leave it to you. He was just a measly dime novel road agent who tried to pot the kid in the back.
Thanks. Now you can tell that yellow bushwhacking whelp that I love him. And I want to see him the first time he's riding by this way.
Oh, doggone.
You don't want to tell him, I will.
Oh. Well, I'll tell him.
If you don't, I'll be riding out here myself tomorrow. Well, thanks for telling the truth.
Yeah. I'll never let it happen again. Gosh, I was expecting a big pre-election gathering here tonight. Even if the treasury is too low for free beer.
Oh, I'm stuffed to the gizzard with this place. If you're still saving that bullet for me, you'd better use it. And use it quick, because one way or the other, I'm getting out of here for keeps.
That's all right, kid. You're free to go. Matter of fact, this never was a place for you.
Say, Bill, can I...
Yeah, what?
Have the night off.
Sure, go ahead.
Win or lose, huh? It sure looks like you're gonna lose. Hear 'em? They're all climbing on Mort Dixon's bandwagon.
Night.
Hey. Where you going?
Why, Mort Dixon has asked me to carry a banner in his, parade.
Well, appears like I sort of played out my luck.
If I had any, I'd deal you into it. There's nothing I wouldn't share with you, you old windstorm. I know you'd do the same for me.
Yeah, that's right, kid. Almost.
Well, it's election day. I don't want to be here when they start throwing those rotten eggs at you. So I guess I'll be moseying. So long, Bill.
I'll miss you, son of a gun.
Hey, Bill. There's a lady in a private car, California bound. Says she'd like to take a look at that ugly fizz of yours before the train pulls out.
Clary. Clary?
Yeah.
Clary. You skedaddle right down at that station, tell the engineer to hold that train till Bill Barker gets there. No matter how long it takes. And if he don't, tell him I'll fine the britches off him next time he whistles through.
I have seen enough without this Barker. Why do you keep me here when I say go?
Well, it's not me, ma'am. It's the engineer. He says he's waiting till Bill comes if he has to sprain his piston, making up time.
Good day. Let's go.
Little dog in his prime. Bill Barker will lead him.
Yeah, if he leads them too far, we ain't got any more land than a mudcat.
Excuse me, the bartender told me that
Tell the engineer that Samuel Kent says to take this train ahead or you'll all be looking for new jobs.
I told him that, Mr. Kent, but he said he never heard of you.
This town smells.
Yes, they got a little bathwater problem here.
Bill! It's Bill Barker!
How's every little thing, Snakeweed?
They know him.
He wasn't lying. Bet she knows the president, too.
Bet he will get rid of those Indians.
Well, if he does, there goes your election, Mort.
And your little town name for me is so cute, so quaint, so simpatico. But I think I have all the nostrils will stand.
You ain't smelt nothing yet. I'll never forget a little present you made me when I left New York. Now, one good turn deserving another, I'm now presenting you with the smelliest tribe of Indians you ever whiffed. Hey! Huck, go!
He's put him on a train.
Let me out of here! Let me out! Let me out of here!
Sorry you boys missed that train. You know, the town's taken over them deserted Indian lands. You better hunt yourself a new reservation.
Oh, no. The town had better hunt a new mayor.
When the good old summertime is gone, I'll be here. But you yellow-bellied sons of snakes, you won't.
Bill!
Oh, what do you want to do? Break it?
Bill. Bill, darling.
Look out, Doc. There's 8 of them. Make it for the platform.
Get her out of the station.
I never believed you when you said you shot curves like that.
Say, I wonder what the kid's doing today.
That's what the kid's doing today.
That must be all. There he goes. Hey, kid!
What's the hurry, kid? Is Nita chasing you again?
The hurry is she ain't. I'm romping out of here because she gives me the galloping flutters. Right down here.
You big bowl of mush!
Bowl of mush? I thought you wanted to be just like him.
Oh, there's no future to it. I'm glad he's gone away.
Gone away?
So I popped 10 of those foes of civic cleanliness, charging me from the right. I cut down another 20, charging me from the left. And I demolished a horde of snipers, popping at me from the roof. I mean, the Tonto kid demolished a horde of snipers, popping at me from the roof. I wonder what the Tonto kid's doing tonight.
I wonder.
Don't be impatient, dear. He'll be right here.